Hello, everybody, on a Wednesday, Podcast Wednesday. For the big synopsis lady out there in Canada, she's with us again 2 days in a row. Hello, Judy.
Hello, John. Hi, everybody. Good to be here as always. And I think we got lots to talk about tonight.
Yep, we got to get our hellos in there, like usual. Got to give them, everybody's got to get FaceTime on my channel.
Good idea.
There's Jeff M, Jackie. Hey, Alaba! Great seeing you, my main man. Love your stuff on your channel, man.
Yes, we do.
And there's Becky. Oliver says hello to Judy and myself.
Hi, Oliver. Good to see you. See you're here.
Well, there's Neil starting to come in now. I figure, guys, even when I come on a little earlier, I know some of you was like dinner time, but I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of our European friends. That if it's 6:30 here, like 12:30 at night or midnight or something like that, at least they can catch 15 or 20 minutes of me mumbling. You know what I mean, guys?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, John, and I know they'd appreciate it too.
Yep. So what did you guys think of last night's show? There you go, Scott Dilly in the house. There's Caroline. I'm feeling a little bit better. Still COVID foggy, Caroline. You know, just foggy, tired. But we just deal with it. You know, you guys are my blood, so we just keep it going. Would you guys?
John, you're coming across just good, just fine.
Yep. What do you think of last night's episode?
Well, I do think there was a lot of info there, and I'm wondering about that well, just what it all means. But I'm more interested in what they're finding on Lot 5.
Yep. Get the dates. And even in the well, when they picked up a twig and they dated it to like the 1100s, everything they want to tie into is like we're getting tied into the Templars. We go see some rocks 50 miles away. You got to tie into the Templars. I mean, I've been in a survey for a while, and that could be like Daniel Spino. I posted his post on YouTube. It could be a benchmark also. Usually at the end of those arrows, there's either a pin or that's where you set your transit on upon the arrow of the point of the arrow, and that's your benchmark. All your elevations go off a benchmark, and the perfect place to put it is right where it is, because you can go off of that at all directions right there from the beach. You know what I mean, Judy?
Oh, okay, John. Didn't know that.
Hello, Tim.
Good to know.
Yeah, so as a surveyor, hello, BC. Thanks for coming in. It could be a benchmark, but as far as Corian knows what he's talking about, but as far as a cornerstone for the churches, for the Templars and all that, you're going to have to convince me a lot more than that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm hoping maybe they'll come up with some pictures from Portugal of it over there.
Right, because Daniel brought up all kinds of arrow signs that we'll go through once we got the screenshots, of British details. And I'm pretty convinced. But you never know, Judy. You know what I mean? They want to tie everything into the Templars' treasure and everything else. That's what they want to do to keep us going. You know what I mean?
Right on. And it's tempting, John. It really is tempting to believe that the Templars were involved in this. It makes it far more interesting.
Yep, Tim. They're making us this way. Judy and gang, the show running 10 years, they're making us this way. Like before, I would say, yeah, sure, Templars, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, I shake my head. We get more research. We get more details. All you guys are professionals that have been with me with the show. I mean, they got to do a lot more now than they did before, Judy, to convince me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's gone on long enough that we just have a lot of questions and no real answers.
Right. I want to thank this guy's name is A Person for rejoining the membership on YouTube. We're losing a lot of people on the membership. So I was wondering if we can get a little bit of boost on that end. That's on the YouTube membership side, who I thank on a nightly basis, the Knights, the Captains, the Marshals, and the Masters. Got to thank Noel, Dina, Carolyn, Virginia, Barbara, the other Barbara, Starlene, Jeff, Curtis, Jana, Kelly, Becky, Josh, Mark, Sandollar, Roxy, Rajaz D, and Wayne for their support, and all the Knights and their support that are sticking with me. Also, Judy, thank you again. I thanked you last night. I'll thank you again tonight for what you do.
You're very welcome, John, as always.
And also, Daniel, the Professor Spino. Wow, he's right on the ball. Now, right after the show airs, boom, he's right there with facts. I love it, Daniel. I love it.
Me too, John. What he put on last night really helped.
Yep. And also, we got to thank Osprey Muyan. Never forget him. And hello, Ashley. Let me go over here. Good afternoon, Gary. Gary's on the Facebook side. I try to always say thank you to everybody, so I'm catching you. All right. I also want to thank my moderators, Tammy, Judy, Daniel, Starlene. Michelle, I haven't heard from. I hope she's doing okay. And Tammy, I haven't heard from. So we got to get some updates on those two guys. And Kathy the Hook,
Right.
BC, and Tanya. I thank Tanya for her stuff, which she does when we're sleeping. And to our lifetime contributor that we really miss on our live shows, Chris Dona. Of course, again, like I say every night or every time I'm on, my main members are from the Quest of Oak Island. I thank all 70,000 of you guys. My YouTube channel, we need that like and subscribe button. We hit over 1 million views. I'm still boggled by that. And also the live stream that I download to Twitter, Rumble, and Instagram. Also our Anchor podcast, Judy, that's building up pretty good there. And that's very good that some members come over from the audio side to join our regular podcast. Thank you.
Yes, that's great, John. And I still find it fascinating that people listen to us on the radio side of things. That is amazing to me.
Yep. Hi, Sandollar. Joanne. David. Luann. Kathy the Hook. I see you over there. Sydney. I see you on the Facebook side. There's the Face of America. Always a good supporter of the channel. Next week, Tuesday, episode 12, it's called Beware of the Blob. Well, the team searches for clues to understand why an ancient well was constructed on Lot 26, which we knew about last night now. Excitement abounds when more evidence of a tunnel leading directly towards the garden shaft is discovered. And a lot of people, Judy, were asking me also the quantity of gold and the quantity of silver. Like he said before, it's a truckload. It could fill the war room. Well, now with the gold signature, they haven't said a peep of the signature of gold and what it retains to be as quantity. You know what I mean?
No, they haven't. Whether they know something and aren't telling us or they just don't know, I'm not sure.
Well, I think once he said that truckload of silver, I think the producer says maybe we shouldn't say that until we produce something. You know what I mean?
Right. That could very well be.
And also, like Oliver, we've been going over maps. The professor, there he is. We've been going over a lot of maps, and I'm saying that there had to be an old map from across the sea that someone had that notated a treasure in the New World, not on Oak Island, but in the New World, that was passed down. And the McGinnis had a piece, and I don't think it was 3 kids in a rowboat that saw a flashing light, because at 1795, there was people on the island. So I think we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of what the heck is really happening when it went there.
Yes, John, I think so too. And I know there's lots of people that don't believe that story particularly. So it would be nice to find out who found it first and how they found it.
Right. So in my search of maps and information, I call myself now Johnny Synopsis, because really we're doing synopsis, and Judy's doing a synopsis of the show. Hello, Scott. I'm doing a synopsis of all the years, everything that's going on. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, exactly, John. And just as long as I don't have to write you, I'm okay.
And don't forget, I still got that COVID brain cell, whatever that's doing to my brain too now.
Well, you're coming across good.
Right, Daniel. He was 37. Not 3 kids in a rowboat looking at a light. They still say that. I don't know why. They're not going to change it, but we know better. This is what I found out that I thought was very, very exciting. And this is what I'm working on, guys. And then we'll get into Judy's synopsis. So at 7 o'clock, we can get right into the meat and the potatoes. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
This person wrote this in a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, a group, not a group, but some kind of replies to a book. And I'm not going to give you any names yet because I'm still digging, Judy.
Oh, okay.
So are you guys ready?
We're ready.
This was stated in July of 2009. You ready, Spino? Daniel Spino?
Look out, Daniel.
Yeah, his ears are perking. Here we go. He probably knows this already, but this is all new to me. All right. He'll say, John, I wrote this in your group 2 years ago. Oh,
I expect you to remember, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what the heck I just had for supper, right? I can't remember if I put shampoo in my hair when I take a shower, so I'm gone. All right, here we go. This was in 2009. My father, Carl Gressner, died that day on Oak Island with Bob and his son Bobby. I know all the technical, historical, sensational, and traditional information. This is Carl Gressner's son writing this now. You follow me so far?
Yes, yes.
He's saying, I lived it, I saw it. I watched around the rocks on the beach. I walked through those woods. I stood beside the pit. Now listen to this one, guys. I'm going to say it real slow. This is this guy's son writing this. I watched Carl, who's his father, mathematically calculate with professors to Captain Kidd's maps he received from England. Hello, face. What do you think of that, Judy?
Wow, John, that's something. That is amazing. So we know there's another map somewhere.
I watched Carl, his father, making mathematical calculations with professors to Captain Kidd's maps that he received, that he's seen from England. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I'd like to know where that map is.
There was no mention about Restall using a copy of that treasure map. But
No, there wasn't.
but you know, who was it that took over Rustall's and Graysner's work after this tragic day and continued the search on Oak Island? I'm not sure, Oliver. This was said in 2009 that he watched his father with professors with Captain Kidd's map that he received from England. This is what I'm working on, guys. I thought that was fantastic. Let me hear you guys. What do you think?
Yeah, John or Daniel said what year? It was 2009, John, that this was written.
Right. I'll get more into it as our podcast gets more into it. But this is not Zena's map. That Joe McGinnis has the same map. This is a map that's an ancient treasure map that they had years and years ago that everybody was going by, that everybody was trying to say if the island is shaped like the map that they had, Oak Island, any kind of crazy island they were looking for. This was in the Maritimes for lots of years.
Yeah, Daniel wants to know, do you know the year of the event?
The year of the event? No. This is him replying to which I don't have an answer to what he was replying to. That this is the son of Carl Grazer stating this, that he was there. Just unbelievable.
I'm sure Daniel will be into some research right away. Yeah, Luann's asking, did Dunfield have the map? But I don't think so.
We don't know. They're keeping it from us, or they're just not telling us. Obviously, if Restall had the map, he would have found it, no?
Right, exactly.
Or they're on the wrong island. See what I'm saying?
Yes. It's hard to know. Well, keep at it, John. Find out some more.
Unbelievable. In the details and location, a Spanish map and directional instructions. Remember what Dan Blankenship always told us. It's a Spanish treasure. Remember that, guys. You guys remember that?
He did. And I'll never forget the day they handed him the Spanish coin and how much that meant to him.
Yep, Doug. But we got to go by something. The details of a location were then passed to the English as a House of Stuart here was entitled to its authority. Lord George Anson was made steward of the secret of the hoard. His monument was set down as a permanent version of the Spanish map so the details would never be lost. In 1760, a secret, semi-secret expedition was tasked by Anson to recover the hoard for an impending royal wedding. The expedition ended in disaster, with the ship destroyed and the dying commander pending a report that was sent to Anson. This report was just after Anson died in 1762. This is now how you know the secret of the copies of the report and the map began to circulate with the story of how there are a fabulous treasure hidden on an island just waiting to be recovered. So this is what we got so far.
Wow. Well, we've always known Captain Kidd could have been there and left something.
Right. And what did they call these maps? Like I told you last night, it wasn't the Oak Island map. It wasn't the Xena map. It was always Captain Kidd's map. I mean, you could call it anything, but it was always Captain Kidd's treasure for a million years up there. You know what I mean?
Right, yes.
Let me see here. Captain Allen's map. Is there.
Wow.
And I forgot who's that. I'll get back to you on whose map is this, but it was made in 1979. In Captain Allen's map. But mostly in the Maritimes, in the early days, it was all, if it is or it's not, it was always Captain Kidd's treasure, Captain Kidd's maps. And you saw even when they had some shows on it, when they're researching, even they put Captain Kidd's treasure on some Oak Island maps. You know what I mean?
Right, yes, I have seen that. And Luann is wondering, did Dan Blankenship know about this map?
We'll never know.
No, we won't, will we?
But what I'm saying is, you know, we're looking at Xena's map. You know, you go to Oliver, you go to dot to dot. They explain all that. That obviously it's viable to them, but you know, on the real side. But that map in 1939 that I got out of what's that old science book, whatever it is.
Popular, yes, I remember.
Popular Science. That was in 39. Yeah. Now, could have they pieced up something from 1939 to make that map, and then just fool Xena, and just fool these pieces of map when the original map, the Spanish map, was out there centuries ago? You know what I mean? It's like a diversion type of deal. Here's a map. Here you go. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Daniels has never heard of this. Just the Kidd map that Hedden was chasing that ended up being made up. That's the only one he's heard of.
So, Daniel, I'll be working on that, and I'll keep you posted of what else I learn on that. But I thought that was very interesting.
It is, very much so.
I mean, the son of the guy that passed away, he has no reason to fabricate. He has no reason to say anything else but the truth. Don't you think, Judy?
Oh, I agree. 100%. He lost his dad in that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would want the truth.
Yeah, and how would he know? Because he was there, you know?
Right.
He was in those woods. He was on the pit. He was on the beach. He was there. He was on Oak Island.
Daniel says the anchor stones were shown in the 1930 Popular Science edition also.
Just unbelievable. You know what I mean? Oliver's out there. Even I asked some of the people on Oak Island and stuff like that. I mean, they're still trying to prove Xena's map, obviously. They're not even close to any kind of other searching on the island, but at the money pit. And Erin was using the map to find things, and all of a sudden she's not on the show anymore. So, Oliver, what do you think on the actual map itself, Xena's map? Is that a slam dunk, which I don't think so, true map, or is there just a couple of things that might hit something? Of course, they drew it, and whoever drew it knows about the dam. So they say the dam that we find now, here's on Xena's map, but we really care about the entrance, the tunnel, and everything else that obviously they're not looking at, even though they got Xena's map. What do you think? Let's see if we can hear from Oliver. You know what I mean, guys? I'm just trying to put things together because after 10 years, it's like, okay, you got this map from Xena. We'll put it over the island, which Jack did. Go look around. Maybe it's too deep. Maybe it's the wrong island. You know, like I was saying yesterday. What do you think?
It's hard to know, isn't it? But it certainly isn't, as Tim just said, to scale. It is a drawing. Daniel wants to know, where was that Anson info from, John?
Oh, Daniel, I get so many emails and PMs. They're all coming through. Everything's coming through there. So I'm just a communicator, and I just make sure they're factual. And that's what I'm working on now. This is information coming to me that I'm passing on to you guys, because you guys are researchers. I'm not a researcher, but, you know, to look it up. You know what I mean?
Right, John. I would call you a researcher.
And Dave Burrow says he believes in the Xena map. Why? What have we found off the Xena's map? Except for 2 boulders that Aaron showed. Well, I'm saying in 1939, Oliver, when that article came out on Popular Science, anybody could have drew any kind of map from 1939 on, not 1980. Yeah, Daniel, there's a ton of fiction. Yeah, I hear you. So I'm just trying to get all our brains together working on this, because now they're trying to match everything they find on the island to validate Xena's map. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that certainly seems to be what they're doing.
Let's see, Oliver. So the map was created by people who had perfect knowledge of geometry of the island and Nolan Cross before it was discovered. Didn't they know all this? And they didn't know about Nolan's Cross in 1939, did they? Daniel, help me out here. My brain's going all over the place. When did we know about Nolan's Cross?
I sure can't help you with that, John.
Daniel says
1980.
Okay, 1980. So it wasn't in any publications until 1980. Already. Yep, the 80s for the cross. But just seems you know, like I'm saying, what have they found? Well, as the answers I get from Xena's map, they haven't found it yet. They're digging in the wrong place. They're not digging deep enough, and the technology is not sufficient to find the vault in another location on the island. So we're still looking, even though they've had the map for over 6 years. Yep, Fred Nolan. Yep. Yep. So that's what I've been digging at, is these maps. I've been looking at all kinds of maps. And then we'll just go from there.
Okay, Daniel says that 1980 is when Fred found them, and he was observed moving the stones.
Right, I remember that. I even got pictures of him drilling around the stones.
Okay.
Oh, the tea lady, I think it's on Google, Lot 5. You can see everything that they found from the previous owner. Why doesn't the well freeze? I don't know. It's got to have some kind of salt in it or something so it don't freeze. I mean, if it was fresh water, it would freeze like a rock.
Yes, I'd like to know what the answer to that is.
Now, T-Lady, we did that yesterday. Look back at our show. Jack did put Zena's map over the island with all the indications on there. And please go to Dot to Dot. Go see Oliver, Oak Island Research. They're the technology guys on this. I'm just an average viewer, just passing information on, just trying to find the medium ground. You know what I mean?
Right, John. Hopefully we can do that.
Yeah. But, if they can knock something off and say, this map is good, but they always just push Zena's map. Now, obviously, they don't have a map that they're telling us, and their map is the drill holes or the borehole system, right? Go in the borehole, see what you find, keep on going.
Right. Daniel says, I believe he put them in the form of a near-perfect cross instead of the Cygnus-shaped cross that was based on the constellation.
Yep, thanks, Oliver. But you got to go from a base first. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right. Yeah, we do.
If something's off in the beginning, that makes everything off to the end, you know?
Right. Now, Kathy's talking about the well and the fact it doesn't freezing, and she says it's moving water. We use fans in the water in marinas to keep water from freezing. The bubble system, she calls it.
Yeah, but wouldn't the top 4 feet freeze? I mean, if the well's 12 feet deep, doesn't the 4 foot top of the well freeze?
You would think so, wouldn't you? I don't know.
So this doesn't freeze because it's probably got some kind of salt or something in it, but they would know. They got to take a water sample, you know what I mean?
Right. So hopefully we'll find out that soon.
No, she says no, it doesn't freeze. Okay.
No.
So I like that information from Carl Grosser's son that I watched Carl making calculations with professors to Captain Kidd's maps he received from England. Now, obviously, he's seeing these maps on Oak Island, Judy.
Yes, obviously he has.
Yeah.
Boy, he'd be interesting to talk to, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Daniel says that well did not look like a well, did it? No, I agree, Daniel. It did not.
It was just an air hole. Who the heck knows?
For sure.
I mean, to have this kind of tunnel system, you have to have air. And we haven't found one depleted air hole yet, or a tunnel hole for air. Not the back door, but they got to breathe. You know what I mean? If you're underneath there, you got to breathe. So there's got to be air holes someplace. But they're probably all collapsed by now, you know?
That's right, too. Now, Cindy wants to know, does the eye of the swamp freeze?
No.
Okay.
But I think at one part it was a little bit unfrozen because you remember in the winter they had the survey radar detectors that they were walking all over the top of the swamp. Remember with the PVC pipes, and Rick and a bunch of guys were walking on top of the swamp?
Yes, I remember that. Daniel says, remember they showed a well in the season preview that was lined with stones. Yeah, it wasn't what we're looking at right now, was it?
No, this thing looks like a pit, a small pit. But We don't know. We absolutely don't know. All right, Judy. Where are you here? I'm going to bring your picture up and you can get your synopsis up. And then we'll
Okay.
continue with screenshots and talking about maps, talking about this guy's son saying that his father and the gang were looking at maps from England. So where those maps are now, that's the $1 million question. Let me get your picture up here. Okay, Judy, you're on the line, ready to go. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, guys, season 10, episode 11. Oh, well. It is a day of great anticipation on Oak Island as the drilling of borehole CN11 begins right in the center of the 70-foot by 25-foot blob zone found last week west of the garden shaft. They will go down 80 to 120 feet in hopes of finding a treasure or something that leads them to one. Meanwhile, on Lot 5, Helen and Miriam are digging in the rectangular hole found last week as Jack sifts the soil. They have cut away one of the large tree roots, and Helen has reached the bottom in one corner where it seems to slant downward. They have found a layer of stone that looks to be cemented in place, and Helen believes it could be part of the wall of the structure. Craig arrives and asks if they have found anything, and Jack says they have dug up many small bits of charcoal, along with a few small artifacts. Craig says keep digging, as we need to find out who dug this and for what. Later, the team meets in the war room to discuss the unusual well found on Lot 26 near the beach. For some unknown reason, this well does not freeze over in the winter and looks to be man-made. In 1786, Lot 26 was owned by Captain James Anderson, who was a mason, and in 1788, he sold it to former slave Samuel Ball, who settled here and became a cabbage farmer. The team wonders if the well is connected to the treasure that Captain Anderson was reported to have brought to the island. And did Samuel Ball find that treasure, making him one of the richest men in Nova Scotia at that time? Ian had taken water samples of the well earlier, and elevated levels of silver were found. This is the only silver found outside of the money pit on the island. Ian points out there is a pond in front of the well closer to the beach. He also says the well is roughly made. He will now go and take a core sample of the well so a C14 test can be done of any wood found in order to determine its age. Later, Ian and Laird arrive on Lot 26 and take the core sample by pushing a tube 3 feet down into the center of the well. It will be tested right away. The following morning finds Rick, Charles, and researcher Corian Mall on their way to the town of Liverpool, Nova Scotia, 50 miles southwest of Oak Island. They are meeting with Isaac and Nick, owners of a piece of land where 2 stones have been found with what could be Templar carvings on them. As they approach the first stone, Isaac points out that this stone and carving has been there long before his time, as his great-grandfather talked of this carving. The team decides it looks like a British broadhead arrow from the 14th century. Corian points out it was a symbol used by the British government and military to show ownership of an item. Corian also says it was never put on stone. It could be a mason's mark that he has seen in Europe in Templar churches and strongholds. It is called a goose paw and comes from the 11th to 13th centuries. I recommend you go to our Quest Facebook page where Daniel has posted a great picture and explanation of this broadhead. On the second stone, there are 4 carvings that Corian says to be Templar in origin. The first and main carving is a cross with a circle that has a line through it at the bottom of the cross. This symbol means God or Jesus, and Corian found it also in a Templar church in Portugal. Again, go to our Facebook page to see all 4 of these carvings posted by our Daniel Spino. The next morning, Charles arrives in the Money Pit area where they have reached 119 feet down in borehole CN11. Terry finds bedded material in the center of the core, and in the middle of that he finds fine sand, which, Terry says, means it has been disturbed by man. This is what they want to see, and Terry thinks it would be better to move several feet to the side instead of drilling deeper into CN11. A water sample is taken from hole CN11 before they move on. Meanwhile, on lot 5, Miriam finds a clay pipe stem that can be dated by the size of the borehole in the center of it. The dates of this pipe stem are, the dates of these pipe stems are late 1500s to late 1800s. The team expected to find more of these on the island as they were cheap and widely used at the time. It would be like finding cigarette butts today. Maybe workers who built the stone road lived on lot 5. Rick and Gary arrive and are pleased to see the clay pipe and are impressed by the size of the rectangular hole. Helen points out that this structure is the oldest European one found to date, so it is pre-1795. What else will they find on lot 5? Later that afternoon in the war room, Ian is presenting the results of the testing performed on the core taken from the well on lot 26. He found pieces of stone and twigs in the sample and had a twig C14 tested, and to everyone's shock, it dates at 94% between 1028 and 1172 AD. Doug points out with these dates, the well could have been dug around the same time as the swamp, which dates back to the early 1200s. As Gary shouts, "Templars, baby," Rick says we need a plan to go forward. Jack suggests they get the archaeologist to do a slow dig of the well, and Laird says he can do that. Will the well lead to new finds in the swamp? That's a good question. So, fellow acorns, stay tuned next week. And in the meantime, stay safe, please.
Thank you so much, Judy. Very good. A lot of information in tonight's synopsis.
A lot, yes.
Oh. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, we can just figure it all out.
Yep, it will be printed out later on in our Facebook group and in the comment section of YouTube. And also all my screenshots from all my posts in the short videos and the videos, everything I use, I post up all the images in our group for you guys to see. And that will be also posted as I do every Wednesday night. Thank you, guys.
It's always nice the next day, John, to go over that.
Yeah, and I don't explain each picture. If people want to explain the pictures, they have to see the video and put the video with the pictures. I'm not going to explain 150 screenshots. You know what I mean?
Right, getcha.
All right, I guess.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
They're being kind to me, John.
Yeah, I wanted to show this picture to the tea lady. Somebody asked about a overlay. There's the overlay of Zena's map over the island. So those are the spots, sort of here and there. And that's the overlay. You got it, tea lady. So they know sort of, semi-sort of where the spots are of the entry point and the dam and the hole and everything else. Obviously, there's no cross on there because then it would give that map away, Judy?
Right, yes, gotcha. Daniel wants to know, how deep did the well seem to you with Dr. Spooner's soil sampler?
Daniel, we'll go over that. I got a screenshot of that, and I think the pole itself was about 8 feet, and he stuck it in. You got about a 3-foot sample. So we'll take a closer look at it when we go through the screenshots in a second. So we'll all look hard. You know what I mean, Judy?
Right, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, all that muck. I mean, it didn't go down far because it was in the muck. The bottom part of that tester was all in that muck, and just unbelievable. So that's all I'm going to say about the maps for now. I'm still digging. So if I find out anything more, I always do it before our main show. It's like a little hoo-la-la before we start our main screenshot show, Judy.
Yes, John. I was just taking a drink.
Yeah, I like to put new information out there in the beginning because everybody saw the show. Now they heard your synopsis. But in the beginning of all this, I like to put out new items, new things to think about in the beginning until we get into our spiel. You know what I mean?
Right, I think, and you do that, and it's great. It does give us something else to think about.
All right, guys. Ready. So this is what they started out for. This is where they're drilling CN11 real close. And then I thought, you see that container next to the drill site?
Yes.
That's a Muyan sensor. And I thought they couldn't be within 10 feet, but they're really pushing it now, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So wouldn't the drill going down this affect the sensor? Oh, I see the sensor. Nope, I don't see the sensor. Oh, I see the drill. Nope, I don't see the drill. Oh, the drill is going down. Oh, the drill is going up. The Muyan right there, that sensor, has to be seeing all that action there and at the garden shaft, no?
You would think so, for sure, John. It is close.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do know what you're saying.
It would be great if you had 6 or 8 months of it just doing its thing. But if you're drilling all around it, it has to aggravate it somehow with information. My own personal opinion now, guys. My own personal opinion.
And I have no idea, John.
Yep. Yep, and they're just breaking ground when they first started the program yesterday. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Thank you so much, guys. If you can support, I thank you so much. There's always about 90 people You only get about 2 likes or 5 likes. I can't understand that, but whatever you guys do, I appreciate it. Thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, John, other things that I watch on YouTube, it's the same way. They have all kinds of members, but people just don't bother to press that like button.
Okay. So I was just trying to see how close they were to that sensor. Oh, they're pretty close, 10 foot, real close. And obviously last night, Judy, as you said, they wanted to hit the center of the blob, because if you have a concentration of gold, which they didn't say a truckload full, a war room full, just it was a higher concentration. So this is that one drill hole right in the middle, and they call that the blob. This is in case Tammy's listening to us on the side, so I want to explain what's happening. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I thought for sure the way they talked about the blob when they started to drill it, the thing would blow up or something.
Yeah. And Scott says vibrations. You would think, yeah, but we got to see. They said the Muyan stuff's coming in later in the season, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. Daniel says we have to get the blob music for next week's show. That's a good idea, Daniel.
Yep. Blobbing for blob, blobbing for gold. And of course, I'm trying to peek in on their maps. This is me, only me. This is on the sausage table. And there's that CN11. I was trying to figure out what those big red circles were up there, but I couldn't make it out. Holy Muyan!
Nope, I have no idea.
And here they are. And I'm glad when they're drilling a hole now, Judy, and they got the pipe in the hole to their depth, they are taking water samples in each hole. Very, very good.
Yes, I like that idea.
They should have been doing that way back when.
I agree.
Dr. Spooner with his colleague, Matt Lukum, doing the test. And I don't know what I put down. I just measured it by the squares, but they said it was 70 by 25. So that's 1,750 square feet.
Okay. Well, it's big.
You know, just think of that, 1,750 square feet. And if they put a drill hole in every foot, that would be 1,750 drill holes if they did every foot. You know what I'm talking about, guys?
Yes. Wow.
You know, you get a foot square, the drill 6 inches. Okay, there's one. 1,749 to go, 1,748 to go.
That would give us another year, John.
Yup, Ashley, 25 by 70, 1,750 square feet. And who's making out here? Choice Drilling can retire after this job.
Right. For sure.
Because I remember just putting a well in, but this is not wells, but it was like $3,500 just to drill a well like 150 feet or 180 feet.
Wow.
That was for one hole. But who knows? They give them a deal. And they're staying around that 80 to 120 foot depth, because at 170, the solution channel could be hitting it on each side somewhere. So they're staying between the depth of 80 and 120 feet. exactly at the 90-foot area where supposedly the 90-foot stone was. So very, very interesting.
It is for sure.
Well, we got the targeted area. Let's find it. Either we find it or we don't find it. And if they don't put an X out on this blob, I'm going to go really flipped out.
Oh dear, guys, we might lose John. Yes.
You know what I mean? There's the blob. You find anything? You didn't find anything. Cross it off. That's what I want.
Yes. Good idea.
And there's CN11 compared to the garden shaft and all the rest of the holes that are there. And that's in the middle of the blob. So I guess they got to go up to the left. Where obviously we see no drill holes in the graft up there. You see that, Judy? They're just gray squares up there.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Scott. If you ever see a little bobcat at the end of the table, even though they pin it with the metal detector, Charles usually pins the stuff. It goes in a little bobcat at the end of the table. You'll see him swish off the dirt into a little bobcat. Where they put that dirt, I have no idea. And it's 27 feet west of the garden shaft. Not sure, Neil. So I guess this is your answer, Neil, right here. Now, these holes must have been drilled. I don't think this is a planned drill, but you see all those white drill marks. We got 2 on the border, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus CN11, right?
Yes.
But they didn't.
Wow.
They didn't check that. That's what they checked, I think, to determine that it's the high concentration. You know what I mean? Maybe those are the holes that they determined that there's a gold concentration there from Spooner, and they want to do CN in the middle of it. Well, that sort of don't look in the middle to me. I got to go to the left another square or two to see the middle. I don't know. That don't look like the middle to me with my surveying eye. What do you guys think?
No. Doesn't to me either, John, so that is confusing.
My surveying eye says they got to go about 10 feet over to the left or towards me over here.
Right.
This way.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's only
Next week, hopefully.
That's my opinion. So there we be. So we'll see what CN11 says for concentration and go from there. Then they're going back to lot 26, which is Sam Ball's lot. Yeah, Ashley, me neither. And this well is located on the western side of the island, just a little bit up from the swamp, not the swamp, the pond there. There's a little pond in front of them.
I would think they would test the water in the swamp and the pond as well. Wouldn't that be a good idea?
I want them to test all the water. I want to test the water in David Blankenship's house. I want them to test the water in Dan Blankenship's house. I want them to test the water in the war room. I want water testing all over the place.
Good idea.
They already did 10X, but I'm just saying. They're all wells, you know what I mean? There's no plumbing. There's no water going over the crossway to these people. They're all septic tanks and wells, you know, Judy?
Exactly, John. So they should all be tested, I think.
Yep. And even at Tom Nolan's.
Yes,
cottage,
even there.
Yep. There are some rocks around the inner edge there. It sort of looks like rocks through the water there. But that's all I can go by there by looking at this supposed 1100 year well here.
Yeah, Scott says that well is so shallow to be a well, but I'm wondering, Scott, if over the years it has filled in.
Right.
It is certainly formed to some extent.
A lot of years for that stuff to get filled in from tides, storms. A lot of million of years, hundreds of years, man.
For sure.
And also, I took this picture. Don't forget, they got that big, what was it, 150-foot wharf or 100-foot wharf from Sam Ball's Lot 26. I forgot the distance of that, but that was kind of huge, that big wharf out there, Judy.
Yeah, it sure is, John. Had to be there for some reason.
I can't remember the distance, but I think it was 100. That strikes me, but don't quote me on that, guys.
But it does sound right.
There's a better clear picture of some stones in this well. Tea lady, could be a flooded shaft, yeah. And filled, yeah, could be. Anything could be on this Oak Island, you know, Judy. You can say anything about anything.
You could, and get away with it, really.
Yep.
We really don't know.
Yep. You can't prove anything. Could be or can't be, but we got no proof to actually put the X on it, guys. The well was the only spot that the silver got some hits outside of the money pit, but didn't say the concentration again. He didn't say war room full. He didn't say dump truck full. So I'm pretty sure he's cranking back on those statements, Judy.
Right, exactly. They did say it was a high elevated level of silver, but that's all they said.
Mm-hmm. More than normal, you know what I mean?
Right, yes.
And there's where the mysterious well is. I think those two arrows were pointing to sort of like the wharf on Sam Ball's lot. Dee Dee, thank you so much. Oh, my lordy. Thumbs up for John and Judy. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dee Dee.
Oh, thank you, Dee Dee, so much.
Yep.
Oh.
I check her YouTube channel out. She does all those crafts and drawings and pasting scrapbooks. I always stop in to see her. Always busy doing something, you know what I mean?
Right, John. She is a beautiful artist.
Yep.
Just beautiful.
Yep. Put your YouTube channel in there if you can, Dee Dee. I forgot what it's called all the time. Just look her up, Dee Dee Williamham. She drew a great picture of me. Made me look good.
Sure did, boy. Of course, she had a good-looking guy to work with anyway.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just type in her name, and if you like crafts, you got to see the things she makes. Unbelievable. And she's in there for hours, 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't know how long she's there.
Well, some women do enjoy their crafts.
Yep.
They got more patience than I have.
Yep. Yep. You can get things there and everything.
Me, I'd rather be writing. Thank you.
Yep.
This is kind of cute. Daniel says about the well, he says you couldn't fit a dump truck in that hole.
I hear you, Daniel. And this is just a shot from the pond in the front. Now, we don't know if that pond is freshwater either, you know what I mean? They didn't say any kind of water testing in the pond in front of it, you know?
No, and I thought they would take some, but they may yet, but I would have taken both at the same time.
Mm-hmm. There's a closer one. Awful strange. Awful strange. And we know there's a well on Lot 5. We know there's a well on Dan McGuinness's, near his foundation, because they had to have wells. This is how they got their water. Or They went to the eye to get the water. I have no idea. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Yeah, there was no other way if they didn't have a well.
Right. No causeway. So they had to drink from something. No problem, Navy. Okay, here's the stick. I'd say maybe I'm going more than 8 foot, Daniel. I say about 3 foot in the gunk below where you see it in the well, and probably 8 foot, so maybe 10 feet long. Could be, Gloria. Could be a spring. Could be a shaft. Could be anything. So we'll go back to that to show Daniel. That's as long. And I think they didn't go down maybe 5 feet, if that, Judy.
Yeah, I thought they said they went down 3 feet, John, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I tried to look that up. I couldn't find it right now, but no more than 3 or 4 feet when he stuck that in the muck. Tim says more than 12 feet. So I can't see how far it goes past his head, that stick or that tester.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to see.
Yeah, Scott, he did get it in the original bottom, yeah. No problem, tea lady. They just call it the gunk. Yeah, the sediment on the bottom, the muck. What do they call it? Muck, junk.
That's a good one, John.
Usually I would call it muck when I was out surveying and I got my boot and went in the muck over my boot. I used to go crazy. Because when I was in a swamp with the muck, I had to wear snake guards so the snakes wouldn't bite me.
Oh, gosh.
So everything went in the muck, and boot, the guard, everything. Which you don't know, everything's covered with grass and muck and mud and swamp things, and it's just bad. Thank you, Stephen. 4 feet. There we go.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Now we got Corian. Talking about those arrows and things in the rocks. He says it was a goose paw. And this is where they went. I think they said it was 50 miles away from Oak Island to the city of Liverpool. Got anybody out there that lives in Liverpool? I mean, you got USA 50%. You got a lot of people from Canada. What do you think? A lot of people in Liverpool, Judy? I don't know.
I have no idea how big it is. I have been in that area years ago, and none of they all seem to be little towns that are there. But hopefully we got some members there.
Yep. The tea lady, I would like a second opinion for the stone markings. Yeah, we did. Our professor, Daniel Spino, is our expert. First, it could be.
Take a look at our page.
You know, first it could be the broad arrow, or a survey marker, or a benchmark. The Beatles, oh my God, oh my lordy 40. Holy Muyan, Daniel, you getting into the wine and the lasagna tonight?
He's on tonight, isn't he?
Yep. Where do I got that little thing? I also have short videos and things on my YouTube channel that explain a lot of this. And he says these markings, the broad arrow is one of the oldest symbols of government or ordinance. This is from Daniel the Professor Spino. It is the traditional symbol of British military property and, thought not as common as it was, the broad arrow is still used by the Australian Defence Force today.
Thank you, Daniel.
And that's the second opinion we're getting on these things. Corian says it's Templar on the church cornerstones in Portugal. But then don't forget, we got to think of our signal, our word phrases. What's our word phrases? Treasure, gold, Templar. More data coming. All those trigger words. So they got to try to tie everything in, which is good production. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. And then let's face it does wake us up, doesn't it?
Right. But I would, when I saw that one on the bottom, you see that little circle, that little pin in it?
Yes.
Well, when I had to put benchmarks on, that little pin is where your transit hones in on.
Okay.
To set your elevation. Or if you just had a PK nail or just a point, you can go off that point and set your transit up upon that point, and then you go with all your tangents from there. You guys understand what I'm saying? I know you guys don't understand surveying, but
yes, I get it, John.
Yeah. And to be on the shore, that's a perfect spot to start. You know what I mean? It's not going anywhere. It's not on a tree that can be cut down. You know, they put them on fence posts, but fence posts could be cut down. You look for a permanent, steady spot to have a benchmark to go off of. See what I'm saying, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, Daniel says that mark was put on stone and rock to mark land.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we own this. This is our mark. You know, like a Mason mark, but maybe a property mark, like they said the British did or something. We own this right here, and then written someplace in more detail. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. And BC says the broad arrow was also on the 90-foot stone.
What? Was it?
I cannot quite remember, but it could have been among all of those little symbols.
Daniel. That just threw me off, Judy. I'm trying to think now.
Oh, dear.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's dangerous.
I think just a V.
BC says yes. BC says yes.
I think not the middle mark, but just the V part, right? Just the V part, not the middle leg, but the two sides, right?
Let us know, BC.
my brain is COVID fried, BC. You know, like the V mark, not the middle leg, Judy, just the V. Or
right.
Like
yes.
the little teepee, you know what I mean?
Right. Gotcha.
Yep. The French and the English were going back and forth over Nova Scotia. Yeah. We own it, you own it. You own it, we own it. We fight, we fight. Yeah, I hear you.
And Scott says, I think Gary found a bench marker on lot 5.
Yep. There's a closer of the actual arrow. King's mark arrow pointing down, also called the broad arrow. We're going to have to look into that, Judy.
Yes. And Daniel says, I trust BC because he said he's not certain whether it was on the stone or not.
BC. On the ball. Thank you, BC. All these guys all these people in this group are just fantastic.
Yes, they are.
And here on the bottom where my face is, there's sort of like a V. Then we had a circle with a dot in the middle. Hello, Roberta. Thanks for coming in. Why am I getting an echo?
I don't hear it, John.
Roberta says, I've been to Liverpool. It's a small town, very picturesque. Yep. It was loyalists and privateers came there, and they hid out from the French. Thank you so much, Roberta.
Oh, thank you.
Well, these members are just unbelievable.
I know.
Then Steven says, of course, it looks like the box drains to the hole. Yeah, well, 5 finger, yeah. There's so many things that can tie into so many things, yet we don't have any answers. You know what I mean? It's driving me nuts.
Yes, I know. It would be nice to get some. It would.
And then this crazy looking thing. Oh, they
I
should.
didn't even try to describe that in my synopsis. I just said to everybody, go to our page and look at it.
Yep. And it's like, oh, well, if their markings down here and markings on top, you know what Johnny would do? I got to move this stone around and see what the heck's going on.
Right.
So who knows how many more markings there can be on there. This is what they're showing us. Very strange. Yeah, we need a lot of confirmed, T-Lady.
And I can't remember who it was, John, but there have been someone else has put some pictures on our page of this particular symbol in use in pictures.
There's the one in Portugal, short stubby, and we got a longer one in Nova Scotia. And Wade says, I'm looking at the 90-foot stone now. It has an arrow. There you go. Very good,
Okay,
Wade.
there you go. Yeah, Scott says, why would they be on this rock? I agree, Scott. Why?
There's the $1 million questions that Scott comes up with. Just unbelievable. Why? Who knows? Maybe it was a windy day and the ones that hit Oak Island, the wind brought these people 50 miles away.
Could be. Could be.
Depending on tides, depending on wind. But what a place to land. Better land in the summertime, not in the wintertime. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got that right. Woo.
And there they are. And this is sort of the shoreline, very rocky, where the boulder is. And here's Terry. Like what Judy was saying in the synopsis, when they hit that packed sand that's been worked by man, or just packed sand, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You know,
Again, we don't know.
by nature, you hit a sand beam or something. Who the heck knows? I don't want it to
Right.
be. I want it to be something substantial. But let's find something.
Hopefully the next hole will tell them a bit more.
Yep. And here's Paul. Finally, we're doing the drill casing. We're doing the water testing in the drill casings, especially in the blob area, because that's where the concentration of minerals are. And this is what we want to find out. So I'm pretty sure.
That's going to tell them something, those samples, for sure.
And here we are on lot 5. They cut that one branch away so they can get in there. I can tell you that was worked by man. See that cut branch right there? That was cut by a chainsaw. I'm dating it 2022.
Right. I am willing to bet you that.
Yep. They sent it out to John Steimer's Quest Group, and that's cut by man with a chainsaw in 2022. I can guarantee that, guys.
That's about the only thing we can guarantee, John.
Yep, that's our only X'd off item, the tree being sawed in 2023. And that's all I got for you guys. You got poor Jack sifting away over there. Look at that pile of dirt he's been sifting. Oh, my lordy 40.
That's a lot of work.
And then I was thinking, I'm looking at this picture. And what am I looking at? I'm looking at a stepladder, all right?
Right.
And I'm going, well, they're not climbing trees. What the heck do they need a stepladder for? Holy mooyan! Then it came to me. How are they getting the overhead shots?
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have thought of that.
How is the cameraman getting overhead shots? He's not climbing a tree and holding that camera. How do you like that, guys? How do you like how my brain's working?
Good one, John, because I saw that ladder and I thought the same thing. I thought, well, I don't know what they're doing with it. So
Because they're not decorating that little pine tree behind that ladder with Christmas lights. Then I'm going, because you guys got to do the same. You got to look at these pictures. They want you to focus in the pit and Jack, but my brain, I go all in the back first. I look in the back, way in the back. And then I work up a little bit farther. And then I work up a little bit farther. The last thing I see is the text in the front. You know what I mean?
right, yes. I think you get every little tiny bit of that picture in. How long does it take you, John?
Not very long. Not very long. And here's Daniel Spino with the clay pipe stems. The smaller the hole, the earlier the date. And it's also posted on YouTube and the Facebook page. I thought that was important to tell people.
Yeah, it sure helped me when I saw those pictures for sure.
Yep. And she says the latest pipes, I think, were in the latest 1500s up to the 1800s. And we go by the show, guys. We always take the early date, 1500s. We never take the 1800s unless they got some kind of percentage in there. So you got to send it down the middle. So you take the middle, about 1650? You know what I mean?
Right, yes.
They did find carbon, yeah. I think they found charcoal, didn't they, Scott?
Yes. Did they find carbon in the hole? Scott, I don't remember that. No, they did find charcoal.
All right, guys, right now, the exciting news on this screenshot here. Are you listening to me, everybody?
We're listening.
They're on the step ladder. There is no step ladder in the background. They are on the step ladder.
I thought that was it over to the right. You can just see the bottom of it.
No.
Up against a tree. No? Okay.
Yep, they did find charcoal. Thank you, Gloria. In this, they're back in the war room. Again, the episode was Oh Well. So I still say the two arrows. I couldn't read the bottom. The indicator for the wharfs, I'm not sure.
Not could because wasn't there two off there?
Yeah, I think
one.
one.
A smaller one.
Yeah. And now he finds a stick or a twig in the bottom of the well, and he gets it dated from 1028 to 1172 AD, 95.4.
That amazing.
Holy Muyan.
I have to admit that date blows my mind.
Unbelievable. And that's where we got the twigs out of, to send it for dating. And of course, now they're tying that in with the Swamp 1200, Stone Road, etc., etc. There's an overhead shot of the well. And everything that they're seeing in the early dates, as Doug says, are in the 1200s. We still got to get a test on Tom Nolan's North of the Swamp, Judy, on whatever's there, whatever twigs they can date for the blockage of the swamp on his end. We didn't get any information yet.
No, they didn't give us any of that this week. Hopefully next week.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I'm anxious to find out if that's a dam, so I hope they come back to it next week.
Yep. Well, we're going to get more blob information.
I'm sure of that.
You know, episode 12. Judy will be with me Wednesday at 6:45 to 7 p.m. Anything that comes up, anything in between, of course, I'll let you guys know. Hit that notification bell on YouTube, because now I get little things. I just put them on the short video or a short statement. Now you hear me, but you won't see me. And you'll get a notification that I posted something. That's real good to do on YouTube. I think it's on Facebook too, but Facebook screws me all up. I don't know if there's a notification bell if I post on Facebook, but there must be.
Yeah, there is, I think. Yeah, it does come up.
All right. And then the big news was from Carl Gresser's father that I'm going to look up. And see if we can find some maps from England. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, that would be great, John.
So it's going to take a while.
Yeah, Cindy says there is on Facebook, and there is, John.
Oh, good. Great. Great. But I want to get more into that, that he watched his father with professors and calculations, making calculations, Captain Kidd's maps that he received from England. And he was there on the island, the sun, so he knows what he's talking about. And we'll go from there. Because Restall and his father, they collaborated together. They were very close. And that's what happens when you get a tragic thing like that happening, when you're looking for the biggest treasure in the world, you know. And we're just trying to find out, well, were they having the right directions? Were they having the right maps? Just trying to figure it all out and give us a direction, you know what I mean?
Right, John. That would be great. And we're lucky in the day and age in which we live. The guys have the equipment they really need to stay safe.
Yep. And TD of Toronto, thanks for coming in. Charcoal and coconut fiber are both used in filtering water, correct? Along with gravel and sand. Yeah, just think of your pool filters, right?
Right.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, so that's what my direction's going with the maps until I burn myself out and go on to something else. But I'm always getting information continuously on the Quest of Oak Island at AOL.com page. I'm still looking for address for Jazdia and Wayne Omby. I want to send them hats. They've been on my membership for 24 months now. And I want to send them a free hat no matter where they live in the world. And maybe next week we'll give a hat away, Judy.
Oh, okay. That sounds like fun.
I think
I always enjoy that.
I think next Wednesday, before Valentine's Day. When's Valentine's Day? The 14th.
Yes.
It'll be the 7th. Wait a minute. The 14th, the next Tuesday after that, right?
Right.
So on Valentine's Day, I'll be giving away a free Quest hat to give to your wife or girlfriend. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
No flowers, no chocolate. You get a Quest of Oak Island hat. She'll really like you for that.
Oh, of course. You can't beat that.
Yep. All right, Judy, if you want to say your goodbyes, and I'll say my goodbyes, and we'll see everybody next Wednesday. You'll see me pre-show Tuesday or sooner.
Okay. Hey, everybody. It's been a good night. Lots to take in. I know I'm tired and I'm ready for a rest. And I hope you all have a good week. Enjoy the show next Tuesday night. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I love you all so much for that. This is what makes my life worth getting up for every day. And I want you all to stay safe as well. Please stay safe. And I'll see you all next Wednesday night. And good night, John.
Okay. Thank you, Judy. Good job.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Remember, always go forward. You may get a setback, but just believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams, no matter how old you are, for tomorrow's never given in this crazy world. Sometimes I don't even put on the news. I just put on the weather report and turn it off, except for Oak Island night. So as my friend Jan always says, you got to be kind. You got to keep smiling. You don't know what other people are going through, but you keep on smiling. You stay strong as much as you can. You got to stay that positive way. No negativity. You stay positive. You go forward. And as Judy says, you stay safe. Thank you for joining me and Judy again. I'll see you Tuesday pre-show at 6:45 to 7. And you'll see Judy with me on Wednesday at the same time for the podcast of next week's show. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you. Take care. Stay warm. And bye-bye.